Welcome everybody to my very first Let's Play, Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remastered. I am Marusu Zerthos, and I have been a long-time fan of the Final Fantasy series as well as Let's Play format. I have been planning on making videos for the longest time, but I never had the time and I kept putting it off until a friend of mine actually told me that doing it tomorrow meant doing it never. And I recently came across a bunch of free time, so I decided it's now or never. If I'm going to make videos, I need to make videos now. And I figured as the best way to introduce myself as a new Let's player, playing Final Fantasy 1 is the best bet, as is a very, very uh, very generic game. There's not much to it. And it is a game that I have played numerous times. I have played the original, the Origins version, my bad, not the original. I've never owned an NES, so I never got around to playing the original, but I did play the NES version of, not the NES, my bad. I have played the Origins version, the Dawn of Souls version, and the Pixel Remaster version. Now, Final Fantasy 1 came out in Japan for the NES and the Famicom system back in December 18th, 1987, and it didn't come to America until a little over 2 years later in July of 1990. And this is the Pixel Remaster version, which came out a couple years ago, back in 2021. Now, I have played this game quite often. It is a fun game to just go back to just mindlessly just play a game where you don't have to generally focus on too much. You know, it's a good stress reliever. It's just a very chilling game, but a chilling game that can become very difficult really fast, as I will show you later on. Um, these are your classes. Final Fantasy 1 has the classic class system. You have 6 classes to choose from, with the warrior being an all-around balanced character, high strength, high defense, can equip some of the best equipment, and later on can actually learn white magic. The thief is low HP, low defense, but is very fast and accurate. They're going to be hitting a lot. And later on, they are able to learn black magic. The monk, very, very good early game. Doesn't have a lot of equipment it can use, but that is fine, as it gets a strength buff from being barehanded, not wielding a weapon at all. Very high damage output and strength early game. Sadly, it does drop off later in the game, and cannot use magic at all. They're actually the only class in the game that cannot use any magic whatsoever. Red Mage is a mixture of the warrior, white mage, and black mage. It's a jack of all trades. It can wield various amounts of equipment, has decent attack, decent defense. It can be your tank, it can be your damage dealer, and it has access to both white and black magic, but only the small to medium range. It cannot use the higher end game magical abilities. Now, white mage is what it suggests. It is your white magic. It is healing. It is buffing. It is your all around supporter. A must have for any of your party if you don't want to get a game over. And black mage is the polar opposite of that. Black mage is high damage potential with magical abilities, has a lot of magic slots, um, a lot of a lot of spell charges, and very high damage. Um, Now, I always go with the same classic uh, thing. Um, a lot of people would argue against using thief. I personally like using Thief simply because of the fact that it is my favorite job class and I do like that speed. But I have to be careful because he will get knocked out quite often in this game. Now, you get to change your names. There's no default name of these characters. They are you personified as heroes in this fantastical world around you. And I'm going to just use some names of famous people. My warrior's name is Arthur. My thief is going to be me. I'm the thief. I like being the thief. White mage. I like the idea of naming it Ophelia after a character from another Square Enix game. Some of you might know, some of you might not. I might play that game at some point. And Black Mage, one of my favorite magic users of all time. Keep forgetting there's no L in her name. Sypha from Castlevania. And away we go. The world lies surrounded in darkness. The wind dies. The seas rage. The earth decays. But the people believe in a prophecy, patiently awaiting its fulfillment. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. After a long journey, 4 young travelers, did at last appear, and in the hand of each was clutched a crystal. And we are here at our journey. This is my menu page. Alright, so first thing we want to do is go to the castle. What do you say? The king is searching for the prophesied warriors of light. Did those crystal? Could it be? Maybe. My sister. I want my sister. Uh-oh. Something's happening in the kingdom. The king is searching for the prophesied. Okay, you just say the same thing? Okay. Her Majesty is overcome with grief. She shut herself inside her chambers. Please try not to upset her. I am Jane, Queen of Cornelia. Please bring back my daughter, my Sarah, back to me safely. I will. I will do that for you. Garland was once the greatest knight in the kingdom. Our power consumed him, and he lost sight of who he really was. Here we go. Please save Lady Sarah. Um, the king is searching for. Okay. Welcome, travelers. I am told you carry crystals. Is this true? It's just as Lucan's prophecy foretold. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. Your Majesty, we cannot be certain that these are the warriors foretold by the prophecy. Yet they stand before us with the crystals. I cannot dismiss this as mere coincidence. Crystal bearers, there is a task I would ask of you. Will you rescue my daughter, Sarah? Garland, a knight once in His Majesty's service, has abducted Princess Sarah. I ask for your aid in the name of His Majesty, the King of Cornelia. Garland has taken refuge in the Chaos Shrine, which lies to our north. Of course, we did attempt to save the princess ourselves, but Garland did a finest swordsman in the kingdom. We have none who can match him. I have heard that you wish to journey to the continent to the north. The bridge leading north was lost long ago, making passage impossible. If you can rescue Sarah, I will have the bridge rebuilt as a token of my gratitude. Now go, warriors of light, and do not fail me. The warriors of light have come at last. How long have we waited for this day to come? Garland is no longer the man I once knew. I beg of you, please return my daughter to me quickly. The dancing girl in town knows many odd bits of information. If you find yourself astray, try talking to her. She may know something that can put you back on course. Right. Nothing else to do in the castle, so let's head into town. I want to prepare for my journey. As I mentioned before, this game has a possibility of becoming incredibly difficult really fast if you are not prepared. So you want to make sure that you stock up well on items, equipment, and magic specifically. Um, Hi there, I'm a dancer. What's that? You want to dance with me? Hee hee. Please restore the crystals to Grace. Okay. Let's take a look at the fountain and the water. Ugh, you're filthy. Use this to wash up. I need a shower. Alright, so yeah. You want to go and buy equipment. You start off with 500 gil. So it's optimal to go and make sure that you upgrade your equipment almost immediately. I'm going to want to buy a chainmail for you and a leather armor for you. You just go into equipment, just optimize. Yep. Now we want to go over to the weapon shop and buy a rapier, both of them, and a hammer for my white mage. It's probably not optimal because I'm pretty sure that staff has a tendency of increasing your magical capabilities, but I like my white mage being Thor, so she's able to do damage when not being a support character. You don't have to play this way. Is recommended to probably get the staff for the better white magic, but you really don't need it. Okay, so as you can see down there, the little dancing dude, Black magic can go on your black mage. Your thief will get the ability to use black magic later on in the game, but they can't right now. Fire deals fire damage to an enemy. Obvious. Puts the enemy to sleep. I personally don't like that. I don't like sleep in almost any game because they almost always wake up the second you hit them, so I find sleeping useless. But focus is good. Debuffs are always good. So I'm going to grab me fire, thunder, and focus. Now, if you go over to your magic, you can see he only has 2 spell charges. That's the way this game works. You only have 2 spell charges. You don't have MP like you do in later games. So I can only use a level 1 spell 2 times currently, and then I'm out of spell charges. And they do not restore when you level up. You have to rest at an N to get them, or use an ether to get your spell charges back. I think ethers are in this game. But you can only have 3 magics of a spell charge, of spell level, right? So I could only get 3 of the 4 of the spells that were there. Now I'm going to go over to white magic now. Alright, so cure, very important. This is how you will heal later in the game. I wouldn't recommend using your spell charges on cure early in the game, as cure is very powerful and you're going to be healing a lot more than what your characters have for health. It is recommended to just use potions early game, but you still want to pick up cure nonetheless in case you run out of potions. I would personally recommend saving cure for a rainy day. If you have no potions left and you need to heal, then use cure. Don't waste all your spell charges up front. So yeah, you want to buy cure. Dia will do damage. It's light damage, right? It will do damage to undead enemies. It's very good for the dungeon coming up because there is a lot of undead enemies. But I personally don't like using her as a magical attacker. I don't want to use up all those spell charges on attacking with her, especially because I do have my black mage that can do it himself. If you want to play differently, you can. It is a good spell. It's very powerful. It's up to user preference, which one of these spells you want. I personally am going to make her fully supportive by giving her Protect, which will raise an ally's defense, and Blink, which will raise their evasion. Blink will be your lifesaver throughout the course of this game. Honestly, I don't think there's other than Cure, I don't think there's a better support of ability. What do you say? Sage Lucan said something about finding the Crescent Moon. Then he just up and left town. What, lady? Oh, please, you must rescue the princess. I am so sorry for my voice acting. I am not a professional. The king truly believes in Lucan's prophecy, that the warriors of light will come to save the princess. Please, rescue Lady Sarah. This house. The church. If you are lucky in your playthrough, you will never have to be here. This is where you go to revive your fallen party members if you do not have a Phoenix down. A fallen party member does not gain experience and can easily fall behind. I once lived far to the east of here in the harbor city of Provoca. These days I hear it's turned into a pirate's den. Alright, this is the item shop. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm gonna wait on this. Oh yeah, ethers are in this game. Alright. And Phoenix Downs. Phoenix Downs are very expensive. You don't have to grind for them out right now, but I might pick up one or two if I get enough money. It is recommended to be level 5 before you start making your way to the Chaos Shrine. You'll see very shortly why that is and why I said this game has a potential of being very difficult, very fast if you're not prepared, right? And you want to stock up on potions and antidotes. I cannot stress this enough. You need antidotes for this upcoming place. Um, Also, I would advise probably trying to get some tents. If not, sleeping bags will work just fine. Especially if you're not using any of your spell charges right away, you won't have to worry about tents. As a tent is the same thing as a sleeping bag, but also MP. Um, so it's optimal now to just go and grind out a little bit. So let's get to that. All right. In our first, really, I get ambushed at the very start of the game. Sometimes I think this game hates me. This is a goblin. It is more often than not going to be the first enemy that you will see in this game. And frankly, most games. Goblin, from the longest time, has been a staple base level enemy at the start of a JRPG. It's always been there. Yeah, and I don't really need to worry about anything because they are weak. They're hitting me for one. Look, my black mage can one-shot them. Don't even worry about it. And I got 24 gil for that. Nice. Down, down, down. Now, okay. Now, it's just the same battle, so I can hit that button, and I can do an auto battle. This will make it to where for the entirety of the battle, they'll just use the same move that I had them use in the last battle. It speeds up the battle a little bit, and it makes it much more helpful for grinding. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself because this is also everyone went up a level. This is also an introduction video, right? So, my introduction into Final Fantasy was the same as most people in the world. You know, I was a child back in 1999, 2000 time era, and up to this point, I mostly just played the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Sega, right? And I played I played a lot of different games, mostly platformers, and Rampage was a fan favorite of mine. Uh, I played a lot of beat 'em ups as well. But it wasn't until a guy that worked for my dad found out that we just got a PlayStation when they just uh, that we just got a PlayStation. They've been out for a couple of years. Like we had a PlayStation. I played a lot of Crash Bandicoot on it. Um, and he was trying to get rid of some of his games, and lo and behold, he gave us a handful of games, among which was games like Valkyrie Profile and Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. Now, as a kid, I didn't know what Final Fantasy was. I've never heard of it before, and I believed just like, okay, well, 7 comes before 8 and 9, so I should start with 7. So much like every other person that didn't know what Final Fantasy was and just got a PlayStation for the first time, my first introduction was Final Fantasy 7, and from that point onwards, my entire view of how a video game can be changed. I started looking more into heavily story-driven games, and everyone just leveled up again. Yeah, see, the agility goes up on him. The agility is yeah, strength obviously is attack. Agility is your accuracy and evasion. Stamina is your defense. Intelligence is your magic, and luck is, I want to say, crit rate, but also the ability to flee. I don't remember if fleeing is tied to agility or luck. It might be a mixture of both. There's a lot of hidden mechanics in this game that even I, a veteran that has played this game for a lot of times, still don't know the ins and outs of every single mechanic. There's a lot that goes into the stats in this game, right? Like you can see at the bottom four stats there: attack, accuracy, defense, and evasion is all tied to your equipment. The mechanics that go into like attack will be like strength, and then some kind of like plus or minus multiplier thingy with your weapon to give you your attack stat, which is how much damage you will then do to your opponent. Like there's multiple mechanics in there, and it's hard to really calculate off the top of your head. You need like a calculator to do all that. But back to my story is like, so I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and it's from that point onwards that I realized that a game can be very story based. I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the world, the music. My gosh, the music. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I realized that video games could be a lot more than just Super Mario 64. Which is a fun game, mind you. Uh, Now, I'm hoping I don't have the time frames of these games wrong, because the points at which I played these games is a bit of a blur to me. I just remember I generally played them all around the same time. Like, I played a lot of Super Mario, I played a lot of Zelda, um, and I don't remember exactly the timestamp as to when I played them in comparison to when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time. But what I do remember with absolute certainty is Final Fantasy VII changed my life. From then, I played the game. I immediately went to Final Fantasy VIII, and then I went to Final Fantasy IX. By that point, Final Fantasy X was coming out, and then Kingdom Hearts, and I was sold. I have thus played every single Final Fantasy game, including World of Final Fantasy and Type Zero, and um, at the point of recording this video, I am officially going through Tactics for the first time. Um, and I'll probably do blind Let's Plays at some point on this channel, but I'm already in the last chapter of that game, and I don't really want to start over for the purposes of the channel. But because I became so, like, what level am I? 3? Actually, I should rest. Uh, because I became so enthralled by Final Fantasy, I have played Final Fantasy One in numerous different ways. It's not by far one of my favorite games. It's definitely not in my top 10, the top 5 favorite games, but it is one of my most played, falling probably just short of 7 and 9, which are 2 of my favorite games. 7 for various reasons, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it and pretend that nostalgia is not a part of it. It is what changed my life, after all. Um, and it's just, I eventually got the Origins on PlayStation 1, and then I got Dawn of Souls for the PSP. And since then, I just I love Final Fantasy One. It's just a fun game to just kill your time with. Is that on? I am a bit ashamed to say that it's like, though how much I have played this game, that I still don't know everything about it, right? But for future videos or let's plays, I'll probably look into a game a little bit more. Um, I'm mostly using this game as a way to dip my toe in the water, getting myself into the mindset of a let's player, um, and hopefully a streamer at a later date, probably much later, way down the line when I have a proper setup and a better microphone. And I'm using this as an introduction for me being new to the platform, and just as a way for me to get used to how to do this. Um, but any help that I can get from the fans, any tips or suggestions, any type of any type of anything you want to see, anything you don't want to see. If you want me to cut out grinding like this, um, I'm only not cutting it out now because Final Fantasy One is a pretty short game as it is. And if I cut down all of the repeating battles, then the the game's gonna be over before you even know it. For one, and for two, I am using, like I said, I'm using this game as a way to introduce myself. So I'm going to be doing that in all of these fights throughout the game. But for future videos, future let's plays, if y'all want me to cut out the battles, want me to just skip out the grinding and some of that, just let me know in the comments down below, and just, you know, I see this as more of a group effort, like I'm I want to provide content that people will enjoy, and if they're not having fun, I'm not having fun, you know. I've always been the kind of person is like, I love playing video games. I've always loved playing video games. But I get a certain type of serotonin when I watch others play those same video games, the ones that I love. And that's why I watch a lot of let's players and streamers, which got me into this mindset of wanting to do my own videos because I wanted to give others that same feeling of like, oh, I'm watching this dude play this game that I really love, and he's enjoying himself, and that makes me happy. And I honestly think that we need that kind of happiness right now. Uh, ooh, Sifa's about to die. You go rest. Rest again. And yeah, so it's any ideas, tips, just any suggestions that y'all have in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it, and any way that we can build this together would mean the world to me. I'm mostly doing this as a hobby right now while I have the free time, but uh, I do enjoy making these videos. I do. I've been having a lot of fun in the last weeks preparing for all of this, getting myself in that headspace, trying to make sure that my video and audio quality were fine. It's like all the research, all the learning. I've had a lot of fun, and I want to keep on doing this um, for as long as I can. So, but at the same time, I want to make sure that it is as good for you guys as it was for me. So, anything, just drop a comment. I'll read as much as I can. Now we're almost to level 5. Yeah, almost there. Almost there, everyone. Bear with me a little while longer. Mm, Excuse me. Sorry. What else to talk about? I might cut out the rest of these battles. I thought that conversation would have taken a little bit longer than it did in introducing myself and telling you why I'm here. So, yeah, I'll see you at the end. All right, everybody. Everyone's at level 5 now. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to be over leveled and you want more of a challenge. You are free to just immediately start heading towards the Chaos Shrine. But I promise you, you're going to want to at least be prepared. At least do a couple of fights so you can get a good stock of potions and antidotes. You are going to need them. I personally, I don't mind over leveling. I really don't. As I mentioned, I'm a story gamer first and foremost. Story, the characters, um, and being over leveled and defeating the enemies as fast as possible isn't a problem for me. All right, you don't need to buy high potions. You do not need that's 150 HP. No one has that much right now. Do not worry about high potions for a while. 50 potions is fine. You'll want high potions later on down the line, but for right now, you do not need them. Buy potions, buy antidotes, buy sleeping bags. Take 10 potions. 5 antidotes. I'll take 1 sleeping bag. Now I'll just spend the rest of my money on antidotes. Alright, so now I'm broke. Problem with that is now I can't rest, but it's fine. Personally don't generally like selling anything. Nothing's worth it. I'm not too down low, and one more fight will give me enough to rest at the end. So, alright, so making our way. Plus, I have that sleeping bag, so I can just use that. There's more goblins. Now, there is an enemy I do want to show you here, as this is the only place that it will appear at this stage in the game. Have to find it. Not what I was looking for, but this is a goblin guard. It is a stronger version of the goblin. Nothing much more to say about that. They're still pretty weak. They're just stronger variants. And they dropped the potion. Nice. Alright, these are wolves. Also not what I was looking for, but the second basic enemy that appears around here. I didn't find any while I was grinding to level 5, but they are also very generic, a little bit faster than the goblins, but ultimately not too much of an issue. Uh, they're not what's going to give you trouble. Can't find the enemy. Where is it? Does it appear down here? Might appear down here. No. I'll see you again when I find the enemy. There we go. I have finally found it. This is a crazy horse, and much as the name implies, it's crazy. This horse, be weary of it. This monster type has the potential of dealing insanely high damage and could easily one-shot one of your mages. So take it out as fast as possible. It is a very rare enemy, and it hurts. That being said, I managed to also level up once trying to find it. It's a rare enemy. Alright, so now we can make our way to the Chaos Shrine. I didn't actually want to go in yet. I wanted to use my sleeping bag because we are hurting. This will partially raise all of our HPs. Which was enough to get us fully healed. Also, as you can see, by leveling up, they got more spell charges. So now Ophelia and Sipha are able to do 4 spells of level 1 and 2 of level 2. But they don't have any level 2 as of yet. So let's head on into the Chaos Shrine. And immediately get into a fight with Ghoul. This is an undead enemy. It is weak to Dia, which I did not get. And also weak to fire magic. Now, we probably don't need that, as they're pretty weak, and they go down pretty fast. Let's run. Want to go down this way. Here's another undead enemy known as the Skeleton. Same weaknesses. Also pretty weak. Now there's an enemy in here, specifically an enemy group, that can easily wipe out your enemy, could easily wipe out your. Sorry about that. Had a bit of a interruption. But yeah, I just got a leather cap. I'm gonna want to give that to Arthur, who is my tank, and start heading up this way. There's more skeletons, kill them. This is one of the fights that could be very difficult. You have the goblins, their upgraded variants, the wolves, and their upgraded variants. There's another one that has another enemy in it that you have to be very careful of. I'm hoping to find that one, but we'll see when we see it. Yeah, as you can see, they are hitting really hard. And this is why I said you want to make sure you are prepared, because you can easily get outrun by the enemies. Yeah, just because you are able to only have 4 characters doesn't mean the enemy is only going to have 4 characters. You will have to fight up to 9 enemies at one time, and it can become overwhelming. As you can see, Sipha is already about to die. But I should be done here. Yes. Yay. I'm gonna want to heal now. Specifically you. I'll heal you as well. And continue up this way to get me 2 more chests with a tent and a potion. Nice. There's more skeletons. There's still 3 more enemies here that we have not seen yet. The ghoul. The reason for the antidotes. Haven't seen that either. Alright. Let's see if we can find those enemies. Oh, here's zombies. They're the base form of the ghouls. The ghouls are the upgraded of the zombies. Back in the day, they used reskinned variants of the same enemies. They didn't have to redraw multiple different enemies. It was probably just better for the hardware at the time too, if they could just recolor designs that they already had. Wolves. I am getting very unlucky with the enemies. Like, I'm not finding what I am looking for. I might have to just come back later to find these enemies. Oh, there's one of them, Black Widow. Now, this is one of the reasons why you want antidotes. These things can poison you easily, but they're not that strong. Now, the other enemy that can poison you is a bit of a pain if I can find him. That last enemy to find, probably not going to find him as it is incredibly rare. And if I happen to find it before this other enemy, then... Oh, hey look, I found it. These are the rarest enemy in the Chaos Shrine, and they are incredibly dangerous. Be wary. I'm going to auto attack. Yeah, they have a lot of health. Luckily, I'm a little over leveled. But my job is to make sure that you are prepared. And so we can have fun. Just because I can kill them fast does not mean that everyone can. There is a random number generator to a lot of these fights, and you can get very unlucky very easily. I just came prepared. I grinded to level 5, which is making this a lot easier for me, but if you want a challenge, feel free to come here immediately. Just be wary of those Gigas worms. Yeah, and you saw that the enemy tried fleeing. If you start out leveling the enemy, they will start trying to flee. I still can't believe I haven't found it. There it is. The werewolf. Now this thing packs a punch. It hurts. It can hit hard. It can cause poison with every single one of its attacks, and it has a regenerative feature. I personally would think, outside of the Gigas Worm's brute strength, this werewolf is the strongest thing in this dungeon. Make sure you take it out first. It shouldn't survive all my attacks. There you go. Okay. And then just defeat the rest of them, and we can heal up and move on to the boss. There's nothing else in the dungeon for us to grab right now. Actually, I could just show you. Whoops. Ah, dang it. Yeah, down here, there's this other locked door. There's also one in the northeast corner, but I need a mystic key to get in there. There are chests in there, but I can't get to them right now in the game. All right, so we're gonna head to the boss. We are vastly prepared. The the boss shouldn't be too difficult. The king will have no choice but to exchange the kingdom for his daughter's life. Cornelia will be mine. Who's there? The king's lapdogs. Do you have any idea who you're messing with? You really think you have what it takes to cross swords with me? Very well. I, Garland, will knock you all down. This is Garland, ex-knight of Cornelia, turned evil, kidnapped the princess, and is trying to take over the kingdom through negotiation and hostage exchange. We can't let that happen. I'm going to show you fire. As long as he attacks Arthur, we are good. He attacks anyone else, then we might have a problem. Let's do thunder now. You saw that Marusu is dealing a lot of damage to him because he's hitting multiple times. That's how this game works. With a higher accuracy and higher speed, you have a chance of hitting multiple times, which means it does damage calculations multiplied by the numbers of hits. So though he has a lower physical attack than the knight, he has the potential of doing the same amount of damage because he can hit a lot. And yeah, Garland's dead, Princess is saved, game is over. The game's not over. That's just the beginning. You've come to rescue me. I am Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Words could never be enough to thank you. That's the first time anyone's ever defeated Garland. You must allow me to show my gratitude. Please, accompany me to Castle Cornelia. Thank you for returning my... my bad. Thank you for returning my daughter to my side. There can be no doubt that you are the Warriors of Light from Lucan's prophecy. You should hear the prophecy in its entirety, if I may. When darkness veils the world, 4 Warriors of Light shall come. If they cannot gather the shards of light, the darkness will consume all. The 4 crystals will never shine again. Now I hear that a crystal can be found on the continent to the north. Restoring light to the crystals is our only hope of ridding the world of the monsters which plague it. I will have the bridge to the north rebuilt, as I promised. I pray that you succeed in restoring light to the 4 crystals and to the world. Fanfare. This lute has been entrusted to the Princess of Cornelia for many generations. When he abducted me, Garland took this lute as well. I want you to have it. It may aid you on your journey. Make sure you talk to her. This is the most important item in the game. You cannot beat the game without it. I'll make note as to when it is used. The dancing girl. Okay, you just say the same thing? Sarah's thoughts are always with you. Leave the castle. Orders from His Majesty. You are to do part to fulfill Lokan's prophecy. This scene always sounds like music to me. What does this bridge have to do with the prophecy? The four warriors of light are here. They're here in Carnelia. I don't need any more preparations for my journey except for maybe resting at the inn. Do that real quick, and then I will be on my way. Arthur's a heavy snorer. All right, and time to cross the bridge. Enjoy the greatest scene visual in Final Fantasy. It is the scene that started it all, and I will see you all next time in my Let's Play when we move on with our journey. Any tips or hints, suggestions, drop them in the comment section down below, and I will see you all next time. So their quest began. As the four warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by the great task destiny had placed before them. They rid not even one. They did not even know the true significance of the four crystals they held in their hands. The crystals that once, long ago, held a light that shone so brilliantly. The time for their journey had come. The time to cast off the veil of darkness and bring the world once more into light. Listen to that great theme. Onwards to new adventures.